have you discovered about some of these weird feelings in the body that seem to be coming up, especially in the last couple of years?
So it's very interesting that when I started my work, I have for the last over a decade or so, my work has been to go at the principle, to the core of what is happening.
Yes.
For me, since earlier stages of working with my own self, it has always been what's going deeper. So even when I was given the guidance to do this program, I knew it is a deeper listening. And
Mm,
I have worked with so many clients and I understand their experiences and their physical body showing the comfort, the discomfort, the pull and the push. And through that, and regularly even keeping a check on myself, I came to an understanding that this what we are holding on to, this what we are trying to release is goes deeper below the skin. It goes deeper into the organs. And there is a whisper, there is a sound, there is, if only we can listen to, we can understand that there is something that we are holding that is not ours. It is something that we are responding to that is not ours.
mm.
And that is through so many years of working with so many clients and so many people and my own self that I understand the difference between what is happening and why do I call this an inflammation, but this is an emotional inflammation. This is an
Mm.
energetic inflammation. This is just not due to the physical, it's a physical response to what I am feeling deeper and which is going multifolds, and it is going across timelines, it is going across dimensions, it is just not limited. And I'm so grateful to the work that I continue to be doing, learning new things, that what I bring to the table now is also much more, you can say, advanced.
Yeah. When you said this inflammation, I kept thinking, well, it's also not just inflammation. In fact, it's really information, right? It's information that is somehow in our body that we are either picking up on or that we have stored or we have kept in a certain place and it needs to be heard. So we're going to unpack this. Is pretty amazing. Well, will y'all let us know? Are you dealing with inflammation or something in the body doesn't feel right? And Zanat, I want to get into your background, your history, because the work you've done has been incredible with sacred geometry, with the light language, with the channeling. We're going to get to feel some of this, but I also want to get into inflammation and what it is. Can you tell us really quick how you see inflammation? How does that show up in the body for people that maybe just, aren't really versed in some of these terms?
So inflammation in its as we would have understood through the doctors and our body, the aches and pains in the body. There is
Mm,
certain swelling in the body. There is certain times the body is constantly fatigued, and we
yes.
don't know why the fatigue is. Even if you go through all the experimentations, you've taken all the vitamins, you've taken all the supplements, you've kept your body completely healthy, but you feel the fatigue. So, what is this fatigue? Where is this fatigue coming from? And even if you have just, sometimes I have come across people who just write to me and say, my body is paining, but I have not done anything physical. But it's not the physical action of the body that is resulting into the aches and pains. It is it is something that the body is telling you, okay, listen, I am now exhausted of doing this. I am now
Mm,
exhausted of carrying this, what you are asking me to carry. I need you to look at it. Actually, the body it's in its most loving way telling us that I am done. You
mm,
need to now step in. Because for imagine a person may not be having any aches and pains for 40 years of its life. Why suddenly one day you feel the pain or you feel the fatigue in your body? Because the body till now has been supporting you. It has been taking care of you. It has been accommodating all the sensible and the non-sensible things that we are ingesting in the body, in terms of even the information that we take in. And we take in so much of information these days. It's like It's an overcasting of information that people are being received. Where does this go? Where does this go
Yes.
and reside? What is the flow through which it passes through? And where does it get stuck? Or what is that hook in your body that is keeping this alive in you? So, so it is so much that comes up through the body. And that's
Okay.
what the inflammation what I see it as when I'm working with people.
Interesting. And what I'm noticing too is like this happening younger and younger to people. There are more people having symptoms that used to be for people in their 60s and 70s. Things are happening to people that are a lot younger. And it be, we're going to ask the question, yes, is it a hook that's holding this information in? Thank you, Suzanne. Or or additionally, is it also information that is coming through the body and the signs, the feelings, the signals are, hey, we've got to release this or we've got to work through this. And we're going to get into that. Now, Zanat, people I know should be familiar with your work here at UWealth. And if they're not, or we have some new people tuning in or that hear this later, what is it that brought you to this journey, to this place that you're in right now? What was your story? How did this open up for you?
Okay, so I have already told you this so many times, and I will say it again.
It's like our favorite song. We love to hear it. And we never get tired of the classics.
So I started with my work at a very maybe around 20 years ago now.
Mm,
'Cause, and it was when I reached to the bottom of things where I
okay.
just knew that I need to come out of it. Like I had this sense now I have reached this. It's bottom, and only consciousness that was telling me was that now from here you have to rise up with that trust. And I didn't know the word at that time of what I was holding on to was the trust that I need to change or I need to stop doing this or I have to resolve this because I got exhausted of doing it. It was through relationships which were not healthy in its manner. It was through job that was I love doing what
Ah,
I did. I'm a marketing person. I'm through and through a marketing person.
yes.
However, there's dissatisfaction about it. And you know that it's not complete. So even if you're a head of marketing and I'm holding on to such a big position in a company, I'm still feeling that there is something not going well for me. There's something amiss for me. And that's when I reached a point in my career where it was more like I had reached a pinnacle that said that this is it. And when my boss told me your way or my way or the highway, I said I'll take the highway
Mm,
because I didn't want to do what I was continuing to do or was going to be made to do. And that's when I stepped out. And the first thing that hit me was the lack of identity, because that's the biggest thing, the head of marketing having no identity at all. Who am I? And through the journey of further, and even before that, I had started my own work. I had started working on myself, working on my emotions. And that got deeper and deeper. Through that sabbatical, if I say, of 6 months that I had taken, when I was introduced to I went to a shrine called in India called Meher Baba, and through Meher Baba is where I was initiated with light
mm,
language. It is through his presence or his spiritual or etheric presence that told me that you have to do what you have to write. Actually, it was the very clear indication you have to write, and I had no idea what am I supposed to write because I knew that people used to tell me you're a healer, you need to come out, you need to show what you can do.
yes.
But I had no clue what am I supposed to do because I felt everyone is doing a fantastic job. I don't need to be there. I need to first heal myself. I need to clear my own self. And that's the time it was very clearly told to me that you need to step and embrace you who you are and that you have to write. And when I came back home from the shrine, I only knew that I had to, okay, I said, okay, fine, I will start writing, but I want to go back to work because I left it so abruptly. I want to go back to my corporate job for 6 months. And once I'm done with that, I will do whatever I'm supposed to do in terms of writing. And so I was given the job just came in the matter of a week time after that, and I started my work. And Darius, in 6 months, I was told that my company was taken over by a very huge international company, and that I was the highest paying employee. And
Mm,
the theory of corporate. last in, first out. And so they said, we are very sorry, but we cannot retain you. And I just smiled because it was 6 months of my commitment that I wanted to work only for 6 months. And I
Wow.
was given that 6 months. And in
Mm.
that 6 months, I tapped into my own self and I started writing. And I started writing first in English. That went on for pages of English writing, just gibberish English, whatever could I could write and think I was writing. And then I realized that I was not able to write anymore in English. And therefore, I started writing with my left hand, thinking I'm ambidextrous. So I said, I'll start with writing with my left hand. And then I started seeing symbols coming up. And then I started seeing that English was still not being accepted by my left hand either. And then I started seeing that I am writing in a form which is not an English language. It is something different. And
Mm.
through a friend who read through what I was writing, she said, "You're writing light language." And she actually deciphered what I had written, which was very personal to me that I had written on the paper. So that's how my journey began. And I was given instruction thereafter that you need to infuse the light language with sacred geometry, which I was practicing and I just knew how to create geometry and color as a technology was to be brought in together with crystal. So I was asked to create the world's first light language sacred geometry color crystal grid, which is how my journey began. And in a matter of few months, I was said, now you have to start speaking the language because it
Okay.
is something that you were born with.
Mm.
And during one of my speaking of the language, I realized that the words that I said reminded me of my childhood when I used to speak the language. And I was like amazed that I spoke this language.
Mm.
I spoke to myself this language, and now I am just repeating what I had already known. So that's how my journey, you can say, really started moving into the direction. And I continue to learn and I continue to bring in what is required. And this year, or rather the end of last year, I was told to initiate what I had created in the cosmos through the multi gateways that I used to work with and I still work with, was the School of Silence. And I am now bringing in the teachings and the healing from the School of Silence, which is a multidimensional temples, which was, you can say, in my non-physical form, which I had created in the various gateway across the cosmos of our Milky Way and beyond. So I have now been tapping into that energy, and one of the things that is has shown its result is the program, which is the air.
Air. Let's talk about that. I want to get into the light language and where that comes in because you're absolutely miraculous at some of these transmissions. And if anyone would like to experience some of Zanath's light language, which I know is just absolutely been legendary here at UWealth, go ahead and let us know. Say yes in the chat. I want to ask you about air because this acronym, I mean, of course, we need air to breathe, we need air to survive, but air is alchemical inflammation release. And it sounds like you focus on different, or the energy focuses on different layers that maybe have not ever really been looked at before. Three layers, right? And multiple layers and multiple dimensions. Explain a little bit about that.
So when I was given this understanding of what is happening with the physical body of human
Mm,
beings, which is not just the surface, but it is going deeper. And that connection with our, like you can say, body, mind, and soul, because it is
yes.
impacting all that. And for me, air is something very, very interesting because I
Mm,
feel in the body, if I look at the elements in the body, air is the third element, which is in our solar plexus. And if I look at the solar plexus is all about the me, my power, my authenticity, my self esteem. And so it it derived itself from there, saying that air is so important. It's something that cannot be done without. You need it. It is
yes.
important. And therefore the name, the alchemy, came in because everything that I do it for myself and I am the one in charge of it. So I am the alchemist myself, and I am releasing, converting this inflammation which I have kept for my own security. Maybe I have kept it for my own safeguard. It is protecting me. I am now in charge of converting this and releasing this. So therefore, it became air, and I was, wow, this sounds amazing. And I went with it.
Yeah. So tell me about the layers, physical, emotional, and also energetic, which could be dimensional. What are these layers where you discovered some of this information and why are they important? Tell me about them.
So, everything that is happening, which is because we are in the 3D and we have a dense body,
Yes.
I have this understanding that physical body, is the last place where the symptoms are being given or reality.
Okay.
I also understand because we are multidimensional being. Our
Yes.
body carries stories. It carries these stories in our cells. It carries the stories in our emotions. In the tissues are carrying the emotions. Our ancestral imprints are in our nervous system. So if I just approach it with just one angle, which is the physical angle, it is to just soothe the symptoms. But I wanted to go deeper in that. I wanted to go and understand what is it that the emotions are holding, and that
Yes.
energetic entanglement that is there, the inherent imprints that are there, that is recurring, concurrent, it returns every time. And each layer, whether it is a physical layer, whether it is the emotional layer, whether it is the energetic layer, they are not separate, because it is just getting visible on a physical level. It is coming from the energy body into my emotional body to my physical body. I see it as a reverse. And therefore, when the work I start doing, I am addressing the symptoms first, then going deeper into the emotion level where it is being actually stored, and thereby when I'm addressing two of them, my spiritual body or my energy body is getting healed. It is getting more tighter. It is the leaks that are there in the body, in the energy body, is getting zipped up. It is getting healed. So as I see that in the physical session, all the groundwork is done for releasing the cellular density, for creating a somatic safety net for us. In the emotional aspect, we are releasing hard hitting grief, anger,
Mm,
inheritance of all that is trauma, abuse, lineage, whatever it is. Sometimes may not have done anything, but our
right.
lineage is such, and we are just carrying forward what our lineage wants us to. And so releasing all that. And at the energetic one, where there is coherence, where there is realignment of the field, where there is the aura and the activation that is happening. And all this is linking back to my activation of my DNA levels, of me being into my true healing, me being in my true self. In,
Mm.
that's how I see it.
Well, I love that. And people are already feeling this. I gotta say, we may open with maybe a little short light language activation just to give people a little 1 minute gift or something to
Sure.
get people more and more into synchronicity. Because I got to say, Susan just said literally, well, Marion said, is not transmitting energy already because my feet are starting to feel better. So let's do that. I want to dive into a bit more. There are a lot of people that believe that inflammation is just physical. It's just physical. I'm getting a certain age. I've been doing a lot of things with my body, so my body's breaking down. I want to dispel that myth, but could we maybe do a tiny little intro to some light language, get everybody into a coherence, and keep the energy rising and rising today? Because I know it's going to be more and more incredible as we open up. Can we do that, Zanat?
Absolutely, Dras. We'll just, shall I be doing a 1 minute or a longer one? What should we?
No, not yeah, just a little one
All
minute
right.
or
So we'll
45
just
second.
align everybody.
Yeah, line everybody's always fun. So are y'all ready? Because we had like a bunch of people just say yes, 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 yes. So I gotta keep people happy here.
Uyana ya mahakayase liahana hiki ilahashi ilareke utuluru Kutanata. Amulaya Namahaka Ito Usai Larakata. I'm aligning my body, I'm aligning my cells, I'm aligning everything of me, past, present, and future. Mukura Payata Payata Lami Aramakatapi Kitulurukutu. I am willing, I'm willing, I'm willing. I ki Ularamakapi Utulurukutama in Nanamahasani Kitulurukutu. Akarepe Larakatami Katalaraka Bakata Pakata Larakata Pakata. My memory is playing up. Parakata Pakata Larakata Makata Larakata Makata. My cellular energy is gearing up. Karapayana Makata Pakata Larakata Pekata Lurukutu Alakarakata. I am here, I am here, I am here. Asiona Nariana Makata Palarakoto, Ita Pekata Unukata Rakata Pikata Pikata Lerikata Pikata Larakata Pakata Larakata Pakata Larakata Pakata Larakata Pakata Larakata Pakata Uniana Mahana Makata Lurukutu Ukuturukata Pakata in Narakata Pakata Ita Rukutu Lurukutu Atarakata Pakata Larakata Pekata Lurukutu Nukutu Rukutu 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 Nukutu Rukutu 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 Say See, and so all resistance, known, unknown, conscious, unconscious, that you may be holding and carrying, even though you want to let go of your inflammation, even though you want to do this, but something that is resisting, something that is defining you. You're giving yourself the permission today, right now, in this moment of this presence, of this now. Karapakati yutu lurukutu rukutu lurukutu lurukutu permission, the willingness to release it, destroy it, and uncreate it. Karakata pakata larakata pekito lurukutu pulurukutu lurukutu lurukutu pukutu lurukutu across time, space, dimension. Larakata pekata larakata larakata, including this one. Tamakete yutu rukutu lurukutu makata larakata. Aku ri na 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 kata larakata. Each one of you, your DNA is now lighting up. Tarakati yutu lurukutu pakata larakata pakata. Your nervous system is relaxing. Yes, so it is. And so it shall always be. May all creation be blessed. Yes, yes, yes. Taki uturukuturukutunukutanakata. Karakatapakatalarakatapakatalarakatapakatalarakatamikituluruko nukutulurukuta. Imkintipikitulurukutumukutu itaparakata itamakatarakatapakha una nananana makata. Ishiyado isheti yuturukutanata. In nakatarakata in ku unna makataya. Numukutarakata. And we need to remember that whatever we do at this moment of this time, we are not only doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for the generations that was and the generations to come. And therefore, our role, our contribution, in every form, in every way is so big. And so we are all so grateful for your presence. Tarakayanakata, for you to being here. Larakadamakata, for your courage, for your strength. We give you our love. We give you our strength. We give you what you require. And so it is, and it so shall always be.
Wow.
Ishahasanaha, Ishahasanaha, Ishahasanaha. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Amazing. Wow. It felt like just like layers opening up. What a great way to get everyone in harmony. Let us know what you're feeling. How are you feeling now? Did you have your eyes closed? And if you're opening them, does the world seem brighter? What are you feeling? Let us know. Getting a lot of wows, getting a lot of chills from people everywhere. So let us know. Did you feel anything shift or move, or did you get a message on something else that you will be working on today or in the future? Releasing quite a lot of upset, which is very interesting. And there's layers to this. So wonderful, says Suzanne. I feel filled with light. My cells are dancing. I saw beautiful beings of light reaching out with beckoning hands. Oh my gosh, yes, Zanat is unbelievable. I mean, we can talk about what she does, right, forever, but we feel it, and it's another level of knowing. That's why it's great to just dive right in. And these are going to keep coming in. This was a little taster. I want to ask you a question, Zanat, about for people that believe inflammation and the body breakdown is all physical, right? That there's nothing else happening in other dimensions, or nothing that could help, that could be energetic. What would you say about that? How would you respond?
So what I understand is that the body is the last, a body, it's taken me so much of time to have
Yeah.
realized this myself.
Yeah.
When I went through through a illness is
Mm,
when I first recognized the importance of my body. And when people just say that it is only at the physical and everything else is all good,
hmm
I came to an understanding that the physical is just the way that the body has reached its threshold. It has reached
uh,
its tipping point.
Yes.
And it is saying that now I'm going to break. And
Mm.
that's where we come across chronic illnesses. See, we come across people saying, suddenly they come and say, now I'm on the third stage of cancer or fourth stage of cancer. It is now the body has reached a point that it's saying, you're not listening. And so, what is a cancer if I have to look at? It's a chronic rejection, it is anger, it is unexpressed emotion over a period of time, across time. And it is just not your own suppression, it is the suppression that you have seen,
Hmm.
experienced yourself, or your family has experienced. And you have been collecting it, keeping it
Mm.
safe. But what it meant was when you received it, it meant was that you have to heal it. But what the
Yes.
body does is it says, let me hold on to it. And then there is another similar emotion that comes up and it says, let me hold on to this also. And then another comes up and then this also. It a cancer doesn't happen in 1 year. It takes 15 to 20 years for it to become what it has become. And when I was going
Mm.
through an illness, is when I realized that my body is just a reflection of what I am emotionally feeling. The anger that is being stored, where is it going? When I am angry, when people say snap out, what does it mean? You can't just snap out of your emotions. Where is it going? It is going somewhere.
Yes.
For like 10 years, 20 years, the body says, don't worry, I am handling it. Don't worry, I am handling it. It is handling, but it reaches a point when you continues to say that it is just physical, that it does not make any difference to me. My life is going to go the way it is. The physicality is the cry out loud of the body at an emotional level and at an energy level that says, I am done. I need,
Yes.
I now need, and that's where, and it has also realized, the body also realizes that this person can only understand when I cry loud. When I come up with a pain is when they will put an ointment on me. When I come up with fever is when they'll give me a medicine. But nobody is going below that, behind that. What layer am I hiding? What emotion am I controlling? What I am fearing to express? That if expressed, it is going to be a disaster. And where is it all going? It's going in my organs. It is
Mm.
going in my nervous system. It is hitting my nervous system and I'm having a back pain. It is hitting my nervous system and my body is feeling bloated. Where is it all going? It's going all of it there. So it's a it's a good way, and you can say when we are in the stages of grief, as there is a denial, when people say that this is only physical, they are denying. And I
Hmm.
have come through, and I can say with now with so much of confidence is that when people say that I have had a fantastic life and nothing had happened and this has happened, I know that they are in denial. They are afraid to acknowledge. They are just not ready to handle the outcry of the body.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, we realize it is beyond physical. We are beyond physical. So when we feel this physical pain, we know that this is kind of like the last stop, the last level where it's showing up. And what's very interesting is just from that, Pippa said, simply amazing. My lower back that had been so painful all day is now almost gone. The pain is almost gone just from
Okay.
this sessions, just from that little thing. So if y'all had anything shift, let me know. I'm super excited about that because this is the mechanism. I want to get into things like energetic surgery that you do. And of course, it's not medical advice or normal. We're talking about energetic work. I also want to get into some of the results people have felt. And also, if you've done everything and nothing is getting better, what is it that this is able to do, this very special AIR work? And we have another person who just said, Suzanne, I had kidney discomfort. Now it's gone. Now it's gone. So if you've had something move, let me know. I'm super excited about that. A lot of things already happening. I want to be careful using this word energy surgery. It's not medical advice, it's not medical treatment guidance or anything like that. We're talking about kind of like energetically moving stuff around, right? What is energetic surgery from
So
your terms?
it is when I when this word was coming through, it is an energetic surgery that you will experience. It is about the precision, it is about
Mm,
intentional, it is not random, and it is going through the landscape of your subtle body because it is energy. And it's like, uh, these aren't going to be on the surface level, these are going to go into a
yeah,
deeper
deep. Yeah.
frequency intervention that works beyond the conscious mind. And if you will feel experientially, where I have seen is that people can feel the move, they can feel that what something has moved somewhere, it is like the rearrangement is happening. You feel the softness, you feel that push and pull has got released. And it is more of a rewiring at an energy level. You're rewiring, you're listening into that area. You
Mm,
are, it's not invasive, it is not with the force, but it is when you have given yourself. If you see, when I started the light language, it is the willingness. When you have given your consent and you are ready, because that's why you're showing up for this call and you're here for the replay, because now you are ready. And light language, as I see, is it passes through all the facade. It just goes delivering. It is the catalyst
mm,
through which the vibrations are delivered, the tones are delivered, the codes that are spoken
yes.
to goes directly into your intellect, your intelligence, your inner intelligence, not your ego intelligence, but it is in your inner intelligence which
Mm,
understand that the body needs this. And then the body starts feeling someone is listening to me. Someone has
mm,
heard my call, and it resonates with me, because when the shifts that happen at the energy level starts percolating into your physical reality, it just, and then it comes, and then that's where you feel the pain has gone, because the work is done on that energy level, at your frequency level. If I need to have something abundant in my life, I need to change my vibration, with
yes.
which my frequency changes, which then aligns to the what I am desiring. And that's what this is. So it is a shift in your breath, it is the shift in your memory, it's a tingling that will bring in, it will be the tears at time. And it is, that's why it is very, very, it's not random, it is very focused, and that is
Right.
why it is the surgery.
Yeah, very focused energy going through layers. That's kind of, when you think about surgery, usually that involves going through layers, right? That's why it's
Yes.
a procedure. And so we're talking about going through energy layers. And we're going to talk about ancestry, multidimensional layers. But I got to say, interesting, Marion, who we love here, she says, I'm actually feeling something shifting in my root chakra, feels looser, less tense, also feeling lightness, cooling sensation in this area. So the frequency, the light language went through layers of our beingness from just what we did. So that is the surgical aspect, which is very interesting. What have you seen happen with this work? I mean, you have had some of the most amazing stories, and not you've done dental work energetically. You've done abundance work where people have had all sorts of abundance shifts. Everything you do, it really gets very big shifts for people. This is what I've seen personally from your work. What about with this AIR and this area that you're now looking at? What have you seen happen with folks?
So interestingly, one of my clients first, just after the first session, one of the participant wrote to me saying that she has experienced what she would say that it was unachievable for her for years together. And what she said is that I woke up as a different person. And that was very interesting when I read that. She actually said that after I did a session with you, I woke up as a different person. She has been obsessed about cleaning things, like I think she lives in a shared accommodation, and she's been like, she needs to do this cleaning. Otherwise, she feels like nobody's going to do. And that is been driving her crazy. But after the first week of just doing the session, she realized that the patience is back. She is able to handle this at much easier way. Another client of mine told me that whenever I am listening to this, my body feels lighter. It's becoming more flexible. it is slowing down itself, and there is the body is tuning into betterness and taking on more awareness and consciousness, and the root cause is becoming more and more resolved. So these are some very very starking point of views that I have received with the people working with this program. And every time that a person is listening into this, it just goes more deeper. It goes into a furthermore layer and into another layer. The As one of my clients said, that it is freeing her from the scars and wounds of the past that she has been
Mm.
carrying. She feels much more lighter. She doesn't feel hurt. She doesn't feel haunted, rather, by her past. So I have come across these as few of the things.
Yeah, we're going to dive into more of this. Tell me about some of the alignment and integration of ourselves to this true essence of what our body was designed to be, versus like living in the old patterns or in the old pains. It feels like when we get the air, finally the alchemical inflammation release, we may start to move in different directions. Are you seeing that different ways of living, maybe like we were designed to be? Hope I'm not overstepping, but that's just a feeling coming in as I kind of dive into this.
The biggest thing that air does is that it is giving you, it creates space.
Mm,
It is, you can say, chalking down. It's removing the layers, the residues, the debris of something that you may have felt required to be held by you for whatever reason, whether it was passed down to you or whether you received it, especially the ones who carry emotional weight. It is coming through the ancestral lineage for some of them, which is actually may come through the traumas, may come through war, through immigration, to migration, through
yes.
scarcity, to suppression. These are passed down. So when you are working with air, or when you are working with the modality, what it does is that it is working, uh, it is removing the inheritant of that imprint. It is creating more space. Immediately there is space. Now when you are having that space, what do? What do you fill it up with? And that is what also the work does. If you see, the last call is all about integration. What does it mean is that now that I have space, what am I going to fill it up with? What am I going to
Ah,
attract
yes.
now?
Yes.
Because something else can come and attract and take build a new house. So how am I going to protect my energy? How am I going to layer myself? How am I going to keep myself comfortable in this new version of me? There is going to be
Mm,
discomfort in being a new you, right? It is like, if when you are moving from one country to another, right from language to food, it's everything going to be different and may seem alien. But how do you get accustomed to it? How do you align yourself to it? And what do you do with the space that you now have? And new found respect that you have for yourself, new found awareness that you have about yourself. How do you do that? How do you now process the unprocessed information?
yes. Yes. I love that. And, where we allow air, oxygen, space, new things can flourish. And where things are so full that there is no air, just to be cute, nothing can grow, nothing can flourish, nothing can survive. Tell me about some of the energies that you have felt or seen stored in the body. Going through kind of the list, what have you seen, and where have you seen these things creating inflammation and resistance in the body?
The biggest one which I see with, even if people say they don't have anger, is anger.
Anger. Okay.
Biggest, it's the stress of that anger, the unspoken words. I see a lot of abuse, trauma. So I see them in the stomach area. I see it in the kidney area. I
Mm,
see a lot of energy being blocked in the sacral area, in the uterus area, because that's where your shame, your creation energy is. And that's where I see a lot of inflammation taking place over there, or a lot of bloating taking place in that area.
Mm.
And so, and while when I'm doing the session, what I have seen is that that area which I have, or if a person, even if I don't, if I have said the person to just pay attention to that, I have seen the density going, I have seen the delayering happening. And people have confirmed to me on the calls that when they were seeing black, now they can see lighter tones. So the grossness has reduced, the subtlety has increased, the density has moved, is what I have seen.
Wow. Let me know where you all may be feeling like there is still density in your body. We're going to be doing a process that's going to be a little bit of a starter, clearing the inner static. We're going to bring in calm. One of the most important first steps to move forward in this area. And Zanat, I did want to take live callers, but I think I want to leave enough time for your light language activation. I don't know how long we're going to go, maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes,
Okay.
but I don't want to have to rush that. So, what I want to do, if you've got a question, go ahead and share with us at uwealthrevolution.com. I want to get to your questions and see what you're feeling. One person's writing in, yeah, just as she is talking about it, I can feel warmth and light. Oh my gosh, thank you. Another person saying, I feel stagnation in the root chakra area. What I want to do, if you are someone who's tried everything, you've been working through energy, working through emotion, working through feelings, Sanat, what would you say to someone who's maybe tried a lot of different modalities, but yet there's not a tangible shift in how the body is feeling? What would you say?
Hmm. So when people feel that there is no tangible results that they are experiencing, what I feel is that if you have done everything and you've tried everything, the body isn't, what I say is that body isn't separated from your spirit,
Mm,
and it is your spirit made of tangible. So when you have to, it's, if you are looking at healing your body, you need to calm your body down, you need to calm your mind down, you need to open your heart to receiving the information that the body is talking to you about. It
mm,
could be a message that it is talking about boundaries. It could be about you not being able to express yourself. It
mm.
could be about, it is telling you about your unhealthy relationship and its patterns. And we are still working with it, and you're still finding that it doesn't give any results. So I would say that when you start acknowledging what's happening at your gross reality, how is your money? First thing, how is your money doing? How are you feeling? How is your relationship doing? These are your factors that you need to look at. So if these two are not, and they are all directly proportionate, so if
Yes.
these are not going in the marking that you have in mind, which means that there is some truth that you're not at this moment willing to look at this moment, even if you're doing hundreds of hours of sessions, and you're going all earnestly doing it, it just means that it is hiding somewhere in your energy body, which it is afraid to release, because then there will be none. So creating that space, creating that honest discussion with yourself, and that's why I feel the light language works so brilliantly, is that it passes through all your facade,
Yes.
it passes through, it goes just right there where it needs to be.
And this is so unique because the first time I've ever seen this with AIR, where you're doing with this work, light language and energetic surgery, uh, together. So it's actually a new pathway. The other thing that I know with you is the coding and the coded energy that you have made in your grids in the past, and also that comes through on the light language. That coding is not just clearing; it's activating things. So it's extremely exciting. And we're going to dive into some very powerful things here in a moment as Zanat begins to unpack more and more of this. I got to say, Suzanne said it feels like she is speaking directly directly to me. And in many respects, she is. If you're hearing this, I want to do this as well. If you're listening in on the live stream on Facebook or on YouTube, we're going to cut the live stream. And if you want to get the full process from Zinat, go to uwealthrevolution.com/Zinat29, or just click the link down below, because that's where we're going to get another light language taster. So you're going to want to check that out. And if you want to join our Zoom calls, go to our special page, UWealth Revolution, and then join up. You're going to get all these calls for free. You're going to